Hello guys. So in this episode, what we are going to be doing is trying to convert this entire big, ugly system into a more simplified and I'm gonna say easy to understand system. And here's how I was thinking of doing this. I wanted something similar to what we have here, but showing us basically what we have. So let's go ahead and test this. And I will, let's say in this case, I'm gonna do the testing based on, well, it doesn't really matter which one of these. We'll pick one later. But what I was thinking is to have something similar to this and have it show the results and possible winnings. So let us see how this works. So this thing here, okay, let me pick something. Let's say we're gonna do, let us do the one pair, right? So let's call this, for the time being, one pair, so I can always find it. And let us, this is a control. Let's convert this into an indicator. Here, change to indicator. There we go. So now this is an indicator, which means I can edit it however I want. So for instance, if I put in, let's say 5 and upload it there, the fifth one should light up. Let's see if that works. Perfect, there we go. Now I had to process the entire game to get here. That's fine. So let us go ahead now that this works, let's see if I can edit the words that are occurring here. And that usually is done by right-clicking, create, and a property or invoke node. In this case, I believe it's a property node. These first three are pretty common to everything, and then the last one down here, as you can see these lines, the last line here is the one that actually describes what's going on. So let's see. Item names. Drag and drop. I believe this is the one we want. So let's do item names. Okay, there we go. Create an indicator. Let me see what that is. Okay, so this is probably going to be like an Excel file looking thing. Yep, there we go. Perfect. Perfect. So now, how about we try to edit this? Let's try to give it what we want. So if I take this item names and create a constant out of it, this constant, see, there we go, and convert this to right, change to right, and let's write this to it and get rid of that. And now let us change, for example, 9 to nothing. And let's try to put in a percentage. 52%. Let's see. Will that work and what will it look like? Perfect. Beautiful. So there. So now we see Jack has 52%. That's exactly what I wanted out of this, actually. So this is amazing that this is working so easily. The only difference is that I would have liked it to have perhaps some kind of I'm thinking of how to edit this now in a way to work for us. Let's start off by creating our own array. So I want an array constant with an added dimension. I believe if I right click, add a dimension, and I want this to be a string constant. Yes, string constant. There we go. Now the first one is the ace, size to text. Let's get the rest of them. Do we want them horizontally or vertically? I'm not sure. Let's leave them like that. Ace, king, queen, jack, 10, 9, 8, 7, 6, 5, 4, 3, 2. Wow, that was perfect length by accident. Perfect. So now if I take this and upload it to that, connect, there we go, and let's leave that here for now. Let's see if this is gonna work, and only those should color up. I mean, should have letters. Alright, that is perfect. Now, let us attempt the following. We called this the one pair. Okay, so let's take the one pair array. Let us, can we index it? Does it index into a row? Create an indicator, show me the subarray. The subarray that we get out of this should be the same sequence, hopefully. Yes, perfect. So now let us use this subarray and let's see if we can convert it into text. String conversion, blah 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 blah. That doesn't work. String to number, here it is. Number to decimal string. Number to hexadecimal string. Okay, let's do just decimal string and see how that works. If we put an array of numbers, do we get an array of strings? And if we do, what are those strings? Let's see. Alright, perfect. That is just amazing. Now the other thing is we're gonna need to rotate this. So we go to array and I'm just gonna reverse this 1D array, and then I'm going to attempt to insert this array into that one. And let's see if we just do it like this, what do we get? Is it gonna actually give us the real percent or the real numbers? No, it did not. It probably put them down here to 6. Where are the rest? Where did all the other numbers go? Let's go ahead and see. Well, okay, let's see what this did. I know what happened. I believe it overlaid it above this, perhaps. So let us go ahead and put it in column number 1 and try that again. Nope. Oh, yes, perfect. There we go. 6, 96, 96, 6, 6, 6, 6. Perfect. Alright, so we have this successfully displaying the numbers as we want it to. And let me just fix this here. There we go. Perfect. So now all we need to do is to convert this from showing us everything to only showing us the percentages that we care about. We can actually also do a basically add to the string a percent sign perhaps and a space. Would this work in an array format? No. No, that would not. Can we change the type of this? No, we cannot. Okay, then for for the time being, I'm gonna leave it like this. This is fine with me. It seems to be doing exactly what I want it to, which is just beyond perfect, right? So there we go. So this here now represents my one pair results. Right there, my one pair results. Due to this. Okay. Now let us see if we can go ahead and copy paste this. No, we cannot, because now we do not have, we need a reference. Can we get an easier way to get a reference other than doing it? Let's see, call by reference, static, VI, call by reference. Call by reference, no. VI, server reference, this VI, pane, aha, there we go. So pane, we need the one pair, Multi-column list box, no. I need this one pair perhaps. One pair. Is that it? Nope. Alright, I can't seem to find it this way. So we're gonna have to do them one by one and just not touch them anymore. So this is linked directly to this one, is our one pair from right here. Perfect. And this here we use it to set the setting. Alright, so we're gonna have to basically adjust however we want to do this to accommodate for all this additional data. So this is my one pair right here, and I'm going to just leave it there. And let's see, is this all we want here? Can we add anything else? Do we want to add anything else? I'm not sure, but I know that I want this to be independent of everything else. So let's see if we get our high card. So would that be a separate thing? I guess our high card would be this separate one here. Let us go ahead and, again, for the time being, I would like to see the label so that I know what I'm dealing with. And I'm going to call this the high card. Perfect. So the high card down here, let's also highlight number 5, and let us go ahead and create property of the item names and change that to right. Is there any way to easily change link to pane? Okay, this was linked to a high card right there. Let us take the high card, put it under, get this, copy paste. They're all gonna have to use this method, it seems. So what we could do perhaps is, instead of doing it every single time, is we can take the entire array, and then for every part of this array do this arrangement so that we have another array output, and we just output those directly to where they need to go. Similarly to what we did earlier with the way earlier, actually, all the way back up here with the card outputs. We set up a system, well, not this one, but we basically set up a system that just takes an array and sends it off to all of those, so that we don't have to deal with them individually. We can just, so that we don't have to deal with them individually. They're always there, always prepped, always waiting. So we have a high card, yes. If I am to take the high card combo and duplicate it, that works. That seems to work, except not the way I want it to work. Can I, let's go back home here. So high card, one pair, copy paste, and you, there we go, you are my two pair, and you, my dear, have a slight problem. This one here needs to have two independent possibilities. So we're going to have to increase the size of this, decrease this one more, and have another set of number appear on this. There we go. So this is my two pair. Two pair is special, right? Two pair is special. Here's two pair. So we have now high card, we have one pair, and we have two pair. We have high card, we have one pair, and we should have two pair. Alright, so let me go ahead and do this for all of them, and I will get back to you guys. Here we go, guys. So I have them all here. Here they are, from straight flush all the way to the high card. Obviously, I did not include the royal flush. We don't really care about the royal flush. The royal flush is just a straight flush to ace, so we're not going to worry about that. So there we go. This is what it's going to look like. Now I'm going to move all the names to the sides so that we can save some space. And here we are. They are now, each of them are basically aligned and fixed. The next thing to do is basically to have them array based, so that we have a single array that would output to all of them basically, to tell them what to do, so to speak. Just for until we have this complete, I'm gonna do it this way. Oh, this array is gonna be humongous, but if that is what it takes, then that is what we shall do. For testing purposes, hopefully this will work, and what I will need to do is probably something along the lines of, oh, did I miss one? I think I missed one. No, I did not. I missed something, did I not? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. Ah, okay, we have just one extra there. And there we go. And we don't need those two. And let's see, can we have them all on the same line? No, it seems that's just not gonna happen. So I'm gonna have to arrange these. So here we are. I did bring them closer together and try to fix this array, and I would like to try to run a test and see if they are all going to update and look alike. It's processing, and there we go. Perfect, that did work. As a final test, I'm going to convert the king to a D, just to see if that's going to work. And that seems to have worked, so perfect. So our system is functional. We have a single array that connects these. Let me get a single array that can work on getting these here to work. So if we do just initialize an array with a dimension size of 9 and just anything for now, we should be able to get a, there we go, 9-point array handler to control all of those. Alright, so there we go. Everything is now fixed and cleaned up. So now the next thing to process is to try to get each one of those to display the numbers that we have over here. And the other thing I would like to do, let's go ahead and unselect everything from those and see if that works. Give it a second to process everything, and there we go. Perfect. So let us try to get each one of those, the numbers as we have them, to go into their appropriate place. So we start off with a for loop from our original system over here. I'm going to use a pretty identical method. So we get this array, take the first number, and I convert that into numbers, basically, into a string, and then that would need to be inserted into whatever we have here. Now the only difference is going to be that in some cases we are going to have to do this twice. So we're going to have to insert this at column 1, and we're going to have to insert this again at column 2. Now if you recall, all of these are pre-programmed to have this form of this thing basically incorporated into them. So I could actually convert them before, just like that, flip them on the spot, flip the first and flip the second right here, and then when we come to the insertion step, I could insert let's see, let's do this step twice. So insert it once at column 1, and another time insert it into column 2. Let's see. We're gonna need this constant here. Can we condense this in any way? No. We're gonna have to use the entire thing here. That seems interesting. And that goes all the way to that. Disable the indexing, and then insert it in here. Create a constant 2. Insert that there, and output the 9 variables. Get this to connect to here. There we go. This should do it. In theory, if this works, then we should be able to move on. And there we go. Perfect. It seems to show us exactly what we needed. 1112, 305, 96, 30, 0. Perfect. Now I'd like to eliminate all the zeros. And I realized that this here should be a king. So to eliminate all the zeros, I would say we should do that in a step right here, in an intermediate step before the string is processed. So we have a string of arrays here that are going to be each going into the system for analysis. So what I would like to do is here, let's see, right here, let's make some space. This thing is really going to bother me, sitting so, just basically taking over everything. If only I could transpose this. No, there's no easy way to transpose, apparently. Alright, so what I'm going to do is I am going to remake it in a linear pattern with, let's see, add dimension and string constant, and I'm gonna put it horizontally with A, D, King, Queen, Jack, 10, 10, and I want the 10 to be sized to text. 9, 8, 7, 6, 5, 4, 3, 2. And there we go. Get rid of the indexes and use this as needed. I'm going to put it in the inside. Get rid of all this. I believe if I take this and I perform an array transposing on it, then it should be safe to use here as we did earlier. Let me just test this. And we have success. Now, so back to what we were trying to do is take this and we're gonna run a for loop on it. I just realized there's 2 of them in here. We can either run 2 separate for loops probably for each one of those to make this kind of simpler. So let's run a for loop on the first one. And that for loop will basically take in the input indexed. If this is equal to a string of 0, then we create a select situation where this becomes, in the true case, create basically a blank constant. I believe that is, there we go, an empty string. And in the false case, I would like to try to concatenate the original number plus a constant of, let's do space %, and output this, and that output please redeposit it in here as we did earlier. Let's see if this works. Now this does not apply to the second column for the full house and the 2 pair, but everything else, as you can see, seems to work perfectly and shows us the % sign. I'm gonna make the 2 pair just a little bigger to accommodate for all the percentages. There we go. And I believe if we do that, we have to do the full house also a little bigger. There we go. This high card, we don't need to do it because nothing's ever going to reach 3 digits. For now, it's 3 digits because it's not in percentage form, which is something we have not gotten to yet. So this seems to work. We just need this to be condensed. And there we go. So this right now should process both columns and only show us the things that have a certain number associated with them. And there we go. Look how pretty that is. You can clearly see there's nothing in the straight flush, nothing 4 of kind, nothing on the full house, nothing on the flush. Straight has about 16% here on each. 3 of a kind has a little stuff. We would like this one here to highlight. This is where we are. And then the 2 pairs are right here, the 1 pair is right there, and the high cards are on the side. Now, looking at all this, I am wondering as to if there's a way to make this even easier or nicer to look at. So we're going to have to figure that out. What I would like to do, now that I have those right there and much easier to look at, I'm actually going to delete all these over here because we don't need those anymore. This here was used for an example, so we don't really care about it. I believe that our detection system seems to work perfectly. We may need to do some adjustments to it to basically enhance everything. I'm not sure if I can delete those quite yet, but for now I'm just gonna leave them. So there we go. This is where we are now. How to arrange this and where to put it relative to the cards that we are setting, where are we going to put the control, the entire control system, we will have to come back and work with that later. There's still a lot of things to do, especially if you look at here, for example. If you remember, all the way back here, we set up an error status, and this should basically be able to identify whether or not there will be an error in the system. So if there's an error, if you remember, the errors are basically whether you have 2 cards that are the same. 2 of the same card do not work. Oh, I just deleted all those. So all this here has been handled. This here is no longer necessary. This has been taken care of. This here has been taken care of, and this here has been taken care of. All this has been taken care of. Now, I'm not going to go ahead and close this up yet, and the reason for that is because I'm not sure whether I'm done with it or not. The thing is that while looking at this, we still need to convert these to actual numeric percentages. Right now they're not percentages. Otherwise, if we need to add any other notes perhaps, or no, if we need to add a true or false system, we can do that separately. Alright, so yep, I'm pretty convinced that this is done. That's how we want it. The names are updating from over here. I do foresee an issue if I'm going to create, for example, and I thought about this just now, if we create a small green light just like this one around a straight flush to basically signify when we have a straight flush or not. So you'll know, for example, by quick glance that, okay, there's straights, 3 of kind, 2 pair, 1 pair, high card, there's none of those. So I don't want the player to have to really look hard to find all this data. We'll see how to do that later. We might need to redo this entire system again. But I believe that by looking at this, this should be sufficient for getting the names updated. If we are going to have a light, that will be a separate issue for a separate day. Alright guys, so I did a few things, I'm sorry about that, but I converted this from a single number to an array because I wanted to set up the way it would handle highlighting the situation where you have a full house or a two pair. And I just wanted to be able to highlight two of those instead of simply just one of them. So by looking at all this, before looking at all this, what I did was I compacted these and basically gave them these names. So preparing their names and here displaying the names. Here I just called it highlight the results. And I believe what I will need to do now to highlight the results is get the result data from over here to set up a highlighting method. So let's see. Looking at this, we got the element from over here all the way back here. Can we get it from this array? No, we cannot. We're going to have to use one of each of those basically in order to figure out what needs to be highlighted. So I'm gonna redo this all the way over here in order to kind of simplify the amount of wires. I know it looks like I just complicated the amount of wires, but this will actually cause less wiring problems. So first we need to know which element. This element 7, for example, tells us it's a 1 pair. So here I have an array with an array of 9 numbers in it, obviously, because we're going to have one for each of the following lines. So we're going to do this 9 times, and basically we're going to have to create an array in every single situation, and this array will either be a -1. Let's get this from over here. This array could be a -1 in both of those cases. There we go. Or it could be these two numbers in here, right? So these two numbers are this number here, and those two numbers are the ones we care about. First of all, if this number is equal to this number, then we do a selection, and this is actually the false case, and in the true case where they are equal to each other, then we will need to use this number over here. So these need to be actually in inverse. So this array here is going to come in, and we're going to have two different numbers. First number, second number. Now, each one of those numbers needs to be checked for, I'm going to do it this way, each of these numbers needs to be checked if it's 0 or not. If it is equal to 0, if this number is equal to 0, then we can actually, I just realized, we can do this out here so that we don't have to do this 9 times. We just do it once out here and it's inputs. So if it is equal to 0, again we're going to do a selection. I would like you to return the value of -1. Otherwise, if it is not equal to 0, oh, there we go, true or false, then if it is not, sorry guys, I'd like to check something here. This subarray is a single, yeah, with 2 elements, perfect. Because, yeah, so if it is 0, true, give me -1. Otherwise, and this is going to be where the big trick is, otherwise we will need an expression-based adjustment on this number. I think it's going to be 14 minus x. I'm going to go ahead and use that as a test for now, and we'll adjust it later on. And then these two, please come out as an array, and this array will be the array that we include in this number. This should come out as a bigger array that outputs to the outputs over here. Let's go ahead and test this. If this works, what should highlight at the moment is our win of 1 pair on number 4. Hopefully. Let's test this out. There we go. We actually seem to have a 3 of a kind on number 4. That is true or false? That's true. We have 3 4s. This is where we are. Right? So we have a 3 of a kind of value 4. So this system works. Let me go ahead and condense this really quickly. For the simplification of wiring, I'm going to do the same thing that I did earlier, which was to basically, I'm going to flip these two. So by flipping these two, I in essence I'm doing this thing where wires do not cross over each other. So now this comes up here and nothing is crossing over the other. This just needs to be converted to if this is not equal to. Sorry, if this is just not equal to in general. Yep. So if this is not equal to whatever I is, then perform whatever task you need to. I will put the I, however, on top. Again, these are just things to clean up this system. Let me process this. And there we are. The highlights have been set. Right here, this decides what to highlight. So this decides what to highlight for our winning, not winning. Yeah, actually, yes, for the player's hand. Doesn't matter if it's winning or not. It just shows you what his hand is holding. So now that we are done with most of what we need to do, at least at this stage. So at this stage we have simplified all the data into this system right here, which simply shows you in a beautiful manner that there's just 1%. This is the 1% where you are. You have a 3 of a kind and you are at the bottom of the 3 of a kind. This is how many percentages are above you. All this data is available to you. Now this data needs to be adjusted. As you can see, all this data is in percentage, yet it is not in, well, I will say it's not in true percentage. So let's go ahead and try to convert those into that true percentage, because this is 305. Obviously it's not 305. Plus we need to show a ton more data, but we don't need to show this anymore, nor that, because now we know that we have a 3 of a kind at number 4. And let's delete that. Speaking of, let us go ahead and do an experiment on trying to have a 2 pair. Let's see how a 2 pair would be highlighted. First, I would just like to delete these two because we no longer need them. What's left here, these systems, this one and this one, these are displaying the table, which I think, I'm not sure if I want to highlight it, especially that if in an unlikely event where you, the player, has nothing, then I don't want it to highlight the table and the player. We're going to have a which one's more important kind of battle. Let me run this and see what happens when we have a 2 pair. It should highlight the both. There we go. We have a 2 pair of 4 and 5. This is the percentages associated with the 4 and 5. So basically, how many people have a 5? There's a lot of people that can have a 5. It's basically it's kind of a sum between both of those. But I will not add them for many reasons. I'm not gonna add them. So there we go. This is how we got this far. Now the next step here, I'm actually not sure what to do next. I would like to do the percentages as I said, but it seems that there might be some other problems that we need to face. Okay, I will see you guys next episode, and hopefully by then we will have a more we'll know more of what we want to do. I will see you guys then. Bye.